is up, guys, and welcome back to the Skeptics Podcast. This is episode number 13.
That's correct.
Number 13. That was my number in basketball. We had a guy that passed away like 20 years but when I was in high school, and they like outlawed that number for the longest time because the dude passed away and to pay respect.
Yeah.
And when I joined as a freshman, they brought the number back, so I snagged it.
Hey.
So, shout out to whoever that guy was in Arkansas. But hope everybody's having a good time, good day. We're going with our new segment today. It's called Deep Thoughts with John.
Oh, snap.
And we're talking thoughts up here. We ain't talking about the ones on the street.
Yeah.
So, we were kind of talking about being old guys now. My birthday was a couple days ago. I'm 27 now.
I don't know if I like the way you worded that.
Why?
I'm not saying I'm an old guy. I'm just saying I act like an old person, okay?
You can identify as whatever you want nowadays. See, my throat's already getting dry.
Dude's coming out the gate swinging at me, folks. Oh, man.
No, but tell me what you say when you say, I feel like I'm an old guy.
When I'm acting like, well, some of it comes from talking with other people, and they're like, what's the best way to put this? I'm 24, okay? And I was talking to a guy who, let's say he's got some mentor advice or whatever, he's a friend. And this is going to be bad. I don't know. Let's say he's in his late 40s. I don't know. Guess. And I'm telling him about what I've got, opportunities, I guess, coming up to hang out with some friends or whatever. And instead of seizing those opportunities and going, I was like, nah, I'll just stick around here. I may go hunting, I got some work I can get done around the house or whatever. Which sounds very old. Like, I'm 24, and this guy was like, dude, I party harder than you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I know what you're saying.
So, do I need to be trying to be my age? I don't know. And am I really being an old man?
And think about nowadays in time, people your age, what they're actually probably doing, and is it stuff that you even want to do?
Probably not.
Then I would say.
And here's the thing, though. Like, I have my childish side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be a big kid. I mean, there's certain things that definitely, like, my big kid comes out when, like, you still have to be responsible. And I know that doesn't, like, make a ton of sense, but, like, when we go shoot guns or whatever, and I might bring a new one or something, like, that's me getting to be, like, a big kid. Like, I get so excited just because we're shooting a new gun or whatever. Like, that's me getting my big kid moment, Like, I'm big, right. I'm grown, but it's me.
You'll probably get those throughout your whole life, though.
I know, but, like, most people like to party and this and that. And it's weird. As little of as I did, really, in the grand scheme, I feel like I'm almost done with that. Like,
well, I'm the same boat as you are. And this guy that I listen to all the time, his channel's called More Plates, More Dates.
Yeah. So
back when he was doing the More Dates kind of side,
right,
he was saying that most people, they have like, there's the party phase and there's like the normal phase.
Yeah.
Well, they say that if you were somebody that grew up and you never had a party phase, that you're more likely to be like immature as you get older because you've never had that phase and you're kind of wishing you had that phase. And I don't think I really ever had that phase. Like the parties I went to, I still never drank. I was never just trying to get with every woman.
Right. It
was just kind of there because my buddies were there.
Right.
And I still had a good time, but
right.
It wasn't just, I'm not turning up.
Right.
Or anything like that. And now that I'm 27, I still don't really feel like I want to do that stuff like at all. Like there's like not really much part of me that wants to go hang around in social areas that involves like a lot of alcohol. Like I'll go if I'm with my buddies or something like that. And I ain't meaning strip clubs or anything like that.
I know.
I've never had a desire to go to strip clubs.
There's like the bar scene in general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I know me and you've talked about this before. it's not that I don't have any kind of problem with having a good time.
Right.
It's when you start having to babysit people.
Yeah.
Is when it becomes kind of hard. But and if you're not the guy that drinks, you're pretty much set up to be that guy. I mean,
100%.
That's just how it is. But I feel like even though me and you both kind of think this way, I feel like there's more people that we know that kind of are kind of going towards that same size as well.
Yeah.
Like shout out to our boy Carson. Like,
yeah,
I'm not sure. Was he 22?
Is he 22? Maybe he's still 21.
Did he graduate with you?
No.
He's 22, 21. One of those ages.
Yeah.
But like, he's like one of us. Like, he doesn't like to go out to big parties or bars or any kind of that, because if I was younger and I was doing all this, especially didn't have a girlfriend, you're probably not going to find the one that you want to have a girlfriend at this place.
Right.
I know there's people out there that do, just like there's people out there that find girlfriends and everything off of like the online sites.
100%.
But I would feel like your percentages are just a lot lower.
I think so, as well as like, it's funny because there's this balance that I can't help but still think of between, like, there's a certain amount of things that's going to happen to you in your life that are just going to happen, and that's just life happening to you, right? But then what part of your life is the part that you make happen, right? So it's not happening to you. You're the one making it happen for you. Okay. So at what percentage do you take ownership, and what percentage do you take control? I think Abraham Lincoln said something about, build the future that you want. It's something along those lines. That's a rough, way of me saying it, but it's something like that. Like, if this is the future you want, then you got to build that.
Right. I mean, I understand that. Like, if you were, say, you were a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, one of the objectives, if you wanted to open the best club in Miami, whatever.
Right.
You know how you learn to do that? You go to other clubs.
Right.
And that's the kind of people that you will get in that will do that. So if there is anything out there that you like to do, just get in clubs with those kind of people. And more or less, you'll probably end up getting some good friends out of it.
Yeah, probably. But I also think there's something to be said for, like I've had two thoughts on some opportunities I have coming up. That's the best way I'll describe it. If we want to be more open, we be more open. If we don't care. It doesn't matter. But within our friend group, me and this guy running the same circle, do I go and socialize and become closer to the group as a whole, even if I don't enjoy some of the things that I have to do? And when I mean don't enjoy, like, there's certain stuff that I literally have zero.
Right.
I guess tolerance is the right word. I really just, like, I could care less. Like, if it took 4 hours for somebody to go do something, and I had to go find something else to do for 4 hours, I could care less.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's no problem for me. I hope it doesn't hurt your feelings that I'm not going, but I'm not going to do that. Like,
right.
there's some stuff, like we've talked about, you have to have a rock to stand on. There's certain things there's no compromise. There's certain things I don't like, and I'm not willing to compromise. And I feel like I compromise plenty in other portions of my life.
Yeah.
And so, but then there's the other aspect. Even if I went and I decided, like, there's a couple times where I will be there, a few times I won't, but I'm around for the most part, and it builds the camaraderie and people. It builds the connection with individuals more. But then there's the flip side. How damaging is it when I choose not to go to event after event? Right? How does that look on me in that group? Does it make everybody think I don't like them? Does it make everybody think that this or that? When in reality, I've got a 6-point buck that I am just watering at the mouth to get. That's the reality of it.
Right.
Like, that's something that I really want, and I've been putting in the man hours to get it. I got off work yesterday, and I thought, well, I've got an hour and a half. Let's get this done. I don't care. That after the sun goes down, I'm going to have work I'm going to have to do, and I did it. That's fine because me chasing that buck was worth it.
Well, you just kind of answered it. I think for probably anybody is deep down, and I've never really been good at like trusting the gut feeling.
Yeah.
Because
I love the gut feeling.
Yeah, I do now, but before I probably didn't because there was things I got myself into that I probably shouldn't have. Now some of those were not really that bad of a time.
Right.
I think it's kind of like your attitude. I mean, I encourage anybody if there's something that your friends are doing and you're just really not jiving with it like at all, just don't do it. Because not only are you probably just going to hate it, but if you have really good friends and not bad ones, they'll just feel bad for you. It's not this like it's like if you came with us and we were doing something and you didn't like doing it, none of our friend group is going to be like John's cramping our style. There's not one friend that's going to be like that. They're all going to be more of the so of, well, I hate that he's not having a good time.
Right, but see, if I alienate myself by not doing those things,
Mm-hmm.
now I share less memories as a collective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
to base everything off of like what kind of percentage you think.
Yeah.
Like if you're going in this area where you know you don't like, what is my percentage that something could be good? Can I have an attitude that will bump that percentage up or not? Because if you don't, then you don't. Luckily, having good friends eliminates a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Because if you say like I don't like golfing, like I just don't like golfing.
Yeah.
And it's just not my thing. And I could go hunting. If you have a good friend group, nobody's going to ridicule that. Maybe the women, just because they're just trying to mess with you. But nobody else really will.
Right.
Because if you tell me no, I'm not coming, it doesn't make me think that you hate me or anything like that. It's just like John's got better things to do. And that's not a bad thing.
So listen, I'm a natural overthinker. So just instantly going off what you said, if someone was to overthink that, which I do, I'm doing a lot better these days, but I still have the ability to see how somebody could overthink something like that. So by you wording it that way, has nothing better to do, right? Or has something better to do. I'm not saying what I'm doing is any better. I'm just saying that's what I prefer to be doing.
But that means it's better for you.
Better for me. It's not better than what you're doing. It's just better for me.
That's fine.
Like I'm not afraid to admit this. I don't like going in haunted houses. It's not for me. I've been in them. I've ruined white T-shirts. Okay, maybe white probably wasn't the color to wear in there.
Right.
But people are like, "Oh, nobody will touch you," and then somebody touches me, and I'm like, bro,
wet T-shirt contest? Or?
I wish. You know what I'm saying? You always look for that hot zombie. You know what I'm saying? Like you can take a bite out of me.
Yeah. Well, so I'm almost in the same boat with you.
Okay.
And I've done this before.
Yeah.
And anybody that thinks anything they want can think. There's certain haunted houses. If I have to sign something, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. And I have, even on dates before, went on a date with a chick and got to a haunted house and said, I'm not going in there. That's it. It's not. So, and if you wanted to think, you can think whatever you want to think. I really don't give a crap. I said, I'll literally wait right here. It's no big deal for me.
Right.
But when it comes to other things, my mindset is, if you ever heard that one, it's a little bit different, but have you ever heard this, like, a lot of guys say, if you don't get invited to a party, don't ask to come to a party. Like, don't ask to come to the party. But, like, you remember when, like, you were in high school and you knew there was, like, somebody was having a birthday party or something, and you didn't get invited, and you'd go ask them, hey, am I not invited to this or something like that? That was me.
That wasn't me.
See, I'd go ask them. Why am I not invited?
Okay.
And then when I was little, I'd get upset about it. But now it's like, if somebody doesn't want me there, I don't care.
Is that almost the F word?
No.
I don't effing care.
No.
Yeah.
I'd really get worked up
when I
get there.
There was a pause.
Yeah. But.
No, so, okay, I see what you're saying, but I didn't really have that. Like the people who I was friends with, they offered for me to do things, which I guess is a good thing. And like the cats who man, I've had some really solid friendships over the years. If you think back to some of this stuff, but like I've had my moments where I was like, bro, I'm not coming to that. They're like, why? And I'm like here's a perfect example. Like the first time I ever went paintballing, I was like, dude, I don't want to get shot by a paintball gun.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, it's not that bad. And I'm like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
And so I'm a bit of a social environment butterfly. So like once you put me there with other people and it gets hype, there's almost nothing I can do. Like once you get hype and like I get hyped up, I'm in. Okay. And so like he hyped me up. He was like, dude, it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love it. He's like, this is definitely something you're gonna like. He's like, I know your personality. Trust me, I'm a good friend. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I said, okay. I said, that's what I'll do then. Now, that come with the bad though, because shout out to my pops. That guy's been making me and my brothers tougher. Same with my mom. The whole time running. So he was like, look, you can't go into this blind, dog. He's like, you gotta get shot.
Yeah.
He's like, what if you cry or something? No, like you gotta be
right. No, that's very
like,
true.
Okay, fine. So I get lit up. I'm telling stories now. So we're here. And I remember, dude, like my calf turned black. That's where I got shot. And like the whole family was there. Like I don't know why. Like my family's, we were always doing stuff. The whole clan. And so, and I remember everybody was laughing, and I was like, "Let me have
this." Sucks. Yeah.
I'm like, everybody else line up, you know. But I toughed it out. It was cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then I went to the party, and luckily I had the sickest paintball gun there, so I was wrecking guys.
There you go.
When somebody's got the Walmart special, and your dad's got like the tricked out Gucci one that he lets you borrow, you're doing pretty good.
Right.
And I ended up having a blast. So
that's already though something that just knowing you,
yeah,
you can kind of navigate to.
Right.
Like if I came up to you and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about going skydiving," if you were afraid of heights, you're still the guy that kind of likes the action stuff, so you'd probably end up going.
You know,
versus me coming up to you and like trying to think of something it's kind of off the wall.
I mean, you can just think of something I don't like.
I know, but in the end, I don't really. There's not really many things that you just really dislike that much.
Not really. It's a very select group of things that
I mean, I could literally say, "You want to go try to catch a gator?" You'd be like, "Yeah."
I actually talked about that the other day.
Yeah, so it's like I don't really have much to catch a gator,
right?
But I think if you have really good friends, they'll navigate it. I mean, there's no point in like really calling someone out for like not wanting to do something. It's just not their thing. It shouldn't be a big deal. But when it comes to the one and one with you, you do have to make that decision of, am I willing to potentially not have memories doing this, and I'm going to go do this. You just gotta. I based it all off percentage. I'm like, what's the chances that I'll enjoy this? What's the chances I won't enjoy this?
So let's say you'll say you're wrong. Let's say you guess, and you say, I think 75% I'm not going to enjoy it, and you go and you only didn't enjoy, let's say less than 25. Let's say 20%.
I would say in that case, most of the time, somebody's not giving you enough information about what you're doing. Just like this trip that we were all talking about. Like you had completely wrong information on what we were doing.
Yeah.
See, it just
and that's
you based your percentage off of a very good description that someone told you that's wrong.
So that's actually a perfect example. So I am very much, and I didn't know it until shout out to my friend Sam, because we can nerd out on some stuff. It's like different than everybody else, but like I've always apparently been information gatherer. Okay, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what's going on. Like I like to know because then I can base everything off of that. And then like, okay, let's say there's a 25% that I don't know. That's fine. I'll judge that when I get there. If I know 75%, then the 25 I don't have to worry about.
If you ever get down to like,
but it's funny though because I've had great moments where I loosened up and just went with it.
Oh well, everybody's had that too.
But I've once again been very particular. So like, how do I put this? Like, the second time me and you went on a trip, and that was the time where I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go with it. I don't care, because the first time you proved yourself to be 100%, and you pulled through, man,
Dude,
and it was lit.
I try.
And so the second time, you were like, bro, I got the perfect spot, and I told you, I said, well, I got the perfect event. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
And we didn't even question. Like, I didn't even question where we was going.
No, that goes back to don't only look at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely look at what you're doing with people.
Right.
The people you're dealing with. I'll never forget. I will never in my life forget this story. Me, Jacob Boss, and a girl I was talking to from Heber. Me and the boss wanted to go camping. And we asked if she wanted to come. And she said, yeah, I want to go. We went on this little trip for 2 days.
Yeah.
This trip would have been a fantastic trip if she wasn't there. And that's nothing mean to her. I don't think she really wanted to be there. And me and boss are over here just trying to have the best time of her life. And she tells us she's got to be at home at 5 a.m. the next morning. I said, we're 3 hours from the house. I said, we're not going. I mean, so if that wasn't there, but literally go back to a story that's the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
Me, Derek, my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Christina Lopez, this girl I used to work with at this barbecue joint.
Yep.
Jacob Boss and Cody Allender. I think that was the 5. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Go camping at this place we've never been before.
Yeah.
And we're in hammocks, and we make these kind of canopy tent things with tarps.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we thought it was supposed to rain.
Right.
We didn't know it was supposed to be a whole hurricane. I mean, it was all of our stuff literally got washed away the next morning, and we ended up sleeping in our trucks at like 2 a.m. I will never forget it. It was one of the best moments of my entire life. We just got our Jeep and Cody Allender's truck unstuck.
Yeah.
It's raining. It's hailing. All of our stuff's gone, and we loaded up all that we can. Me, Jacob Boss, and Cody Allender were standing at the back of his pickup truck.
Yeah.
And we all just looked at each other and just started laughing. I mean, worst case scenario, we lost 90% of our junk.
Yeah.
Some wallets were swept down with money in them.
Yeah.
It could have been terrible.
Yeah.
But just the people we had made the thing 10 times better.
Yeah.
So I would say, look at your situation. This is literally like the guideline now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Look at your situation. Set a percentage. Okay, I think I will 80% dislike this. The other 20% I may like it. Then, who's coming with me? Is it my best bros? How much is that worth? How much is it worth going up to just be with them? And then if it's not, you can even go down. It can even go all the way down to 0. You might go on a deep sea fishing trip.
Yeah.
And you might be with 4 people that have the worst attitude of their lives.
Right.
And it just dive bombs the whole trip.
Yeah.
So you got to definitely look at those 2 different scenarios and then kind of balance out what it is, because I'm way more likely to do things that I really don't like if I'm with my buddies.
Right.
I don't like to play golf. I suck at golf.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm out there with my buddies and we're just clocking them, it would probably be pretty fun.
Right.
But yeah, you just have to see what you're looking at all the time.
Right. I know that makes me think about some of just my life scenarios. Hey, that's a banger, dude. But I've had moments where it's literally like a movie. Like, if you look back
100%.
and film some of the stuff that's happened, you're like, dude, that could go in a movie, or it's been in a movie.
You're like, we're
sure.
going to jail.
I don't know if I've ever had one that I thought for certain we was going, but...
Or you're getting canceled hard.
That's more like it. But,
yeah.
But that's... And thinking along those lines is something I've really started weighing out a lot of choices in my life, because I've always been so family-oriented. And when I mean family, I'm talking about like my immediate family, and then the next of kin after that, and then like my friends or whatever. And that's how I based a lot of choices, like, oh, my friends are going to go do this, but then like my family, they're all going to go to Little Rock and we're going to go do XYZ. Well, growing up, 90% of the time, that's what I would rather have done, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I would just invite my friends. Shout out to my folks because they were like, "Yeah, bring them." So I don't know how many of my buddies we introduced to new things just for them being like, "Hey, I'm going to do this weekend. You want to come?" And so, but then you have moments where it's like, 95% of the time you have a blast with like my old buddy Tyler. Okay, and I can think back to a moment. It was me and him and Jonathan, and we literally ran around from the time we woke up until the sun started to go down. And these are guys who, like, if y'all don't know, I'm pretty much like an amateur rally expert through the woods of my neighborhood or whatever. Like, we used to shred out there, all kinds of vehicles. And so we wrapped up just having a shred fest for the day, go to his house. And then we spent the night on their roof because they had a 2-story house. So we climbed out the second story onto the first story. Dude, that's like movie stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like going and ripping on 4-wheelers and stuff all day and the trucks and stuff. And then you go and you spend the night talking, just looking at the sky with your buddies. Like, that's literally from a movie, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know one, but you can probably find one that's got that in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so, by making that choice, though, and a lot of my choices recently I've made of who I want to be around right now in this season of life. And so I'm trying to loosen up and I'm trying this and that. But I still have my old man tendencies, to be like here's a shout out. I'm a pretty simple guy. I like meat and potatoes. That's like one of the best things you could pair to eat. Okay. I was over. It's been a week or 2 weeks ago, and they had a roast on, and I was like, "Yo, can I have some?" She's like, "Yeah, of course." Freaking awesome. I bragged and bragged on it. So then, shout out to your wife was like, "Well, you need to come back. I'm making roast this week," and so I'll be coming back for that. And that's just like that's kind of an old man thing. It's like we're not really going to be doing anything special. It's just
I see. If it is old man thing, it's the coolest thing to me.
Because I love that's one of my all-time favorite meals.
Yeah.
I'm invited back. This is one of my favorite places to be. Is with you hanging out, and so
my goal, and me and Cammy talk about this all the time, is if we ever build a house.
Yeah.
The way that we want to build this house, it is like a hangout.
Right.
It's like we try. You use the word good vibes every time you come here.
Yeah.
We try to do that. Like we want a house that brings people together.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed with the one that we got. So it worked. I mean, it works really good when you have a really big sectional in your
living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm all about that. It's just like my bachelor party, guys, from when I got married, was a group of guys sitting around a bonfire talking about God.
It was really
that was literally it. It was like cool. Everybody was asking me, "Are you going to go to strip club? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this?" And my good buddies that asked me that, they know that was not whatsoever what I want to do, right. and I have no want to do that.
Right.
The one thing that I like the most is just hanging out with my buddies.
Right.
And so, what's wrong with that? I don't see what would be wrong with that. And I don't even see it as an old man thing anymore. Like, maybe the younger people do.
Right.
But, and life plays a big perspective in that. Me and you were talking about as we were walking out of here, the funds for things.
Oh, yeah.
That you want to do that. And you figure out real quick, when you want to go start doing all kind of stuff all the time, you start spending money so fast. You can spend $100 in a day now, and it could be in an hour.
Yeah.
Like food and activity, $100.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Oh, and your gas.
Gone.
So, I don't know. I find so much more better time, fulfilling time, just sitting there talking about things. Even though we talk 99 things that we wish how we could fix the world, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Because one day I might run for something. Bringing back what was once lost.
Oh,
What's up, brother? Sam? But yeah, I'd much rather sit back and talk about something that's funny or like productive.
Yeah.
Than go out and do something that just activities are fun by no means. Like, I do think it would be really, really fun for all of us to go on a cruise. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I agree.
And I had a good time when me and Cammy just went on a cruise. But if I went on the cruise with wrong people,
oh my gosh,
it would suck.
Here's a perfect example of like what you're talking about. I seen where this guy was on a expeditionary ship where they were like cleaning up the ocean, and it got me thinking: is that a vacation you can take? And it is. So you can pay to go on a sailboat with other people, randoms or your friends, depends on obviously how you book it. And there's a captain, or maybe a captain and a crewmate, and they teach you how to sail the boat, how to keep up with the logs. You have to cook one night, and like there's all this stuff. But then like you dock in Jamaica, so then you get a couple days on beautiful beaches or the Bahamas. But you sail across the ocean from like North Carolina. Don't do it right now. From North Carolina down to like the Bahamas.
Like, you can actually sail from parts of North Carolina right now. Like, out of North Carolina.
From, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but I thought, dude, like if you could get the right people on that, that would be one of the best vacations because all you're going to have is good times.
That's it.
With great people.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be on the ocean.
Yeah.
And then you're going to show up at a beautiful beach, a couple days there, sail back. I mean, that would be really hard to beat. So it's something I've really been looking into, as well as some other trips that I'm thinking really serious about trying to take a couple of people on some really important, I think, vacations. They'd be important to me, and I think to other people. But I've got some big ideas that I think would be fun. But going back to what you said, and it's funny, I've not even thought about this. I was blessed to get to spend a whole summer with my grandpa on my dad's side. That's the way I'm going to word it. And dude, literally, this is what we did. It was like being retired from the Air Force, because he was. I woke up. We lived next door to him. I go down to his house. Okay. I walk in. Maybe you have some coffee, or maybe I showed up a little bit later. He's already got the coffee going.
Maybe a little bit of tequila.
And we just hung out. You know, maybe you watch an old show or something, which I like older movies and shows, and so we'd watch some old, maybe we'd listen to some old country music out on the porch. He was a smoker, so, I'm not smoking, but he's sitting out there, have a cigarette. We just hang out, talk, listen to the birds. Then you drive to town, okay, get you a plate lunch from a cafe. If you ain't ever done that, like, that's country stuff. Like, you need to do that, okay? Wake up, have some coffee.
Put a dip in.
Yeah. Watch Gunsmoke. Go get you a plate lunch from the cafe. It's going to be greasy, but it's good for you. And then head back, watch some NASCAR, take a nap. And that's a wrap, dog.
Yeah.
Maybe you go work on an engine or something one day.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you go to the woodworking shop. But for the most part, it's just hanging out. And I learned so much about him. And we had so much time just hanging out. And, like, I've got memories, and he's such a character. Like, we vaporized a vulture one time in a Chevy Impala. Smoked it at like 80 coming into town, and there was nothing left on the road behind us. So I really don't know what happened to that bird. But just good, and the car was fine.
They don't build them like they used to, boy.
But it's like, those are legendary memories for me.
Oh yeah, for
sure. A whole summer spent with a guy and just hanging out. It couldn't be any better.
Oh yeah.
And he loved it just as much as I did. So, that's a huge part that I think I overlooked. I keep bumping this. But, yeah.
I wonder, like, I actually truly wonder this. Like, guys can just sit around and talk about things, like, and have a good time. I wonder how often girls do that. Like, I know if Cammy goes over to her friend's house and they do, like, have a girls' night or whatever they call it,
yeah,
they're always doing an activity.
Right.
And it's like, I wonder if they just sit down. And I don't mean like drama. I mean like asking, even if it's kind of wild out questions, like, you think aliens are real?
Right, like a deep talk.
Yeah, like to get into deep talks.
I don't know.
Because Cammy does not like having deep talks. She just doesn't. I mean, and this is nothing that's a bad thing or anything. She just doesn't. She's like, you have all these things that you want to talk about, but you don't have the power to do it, which I don't. I mean, I'm not the richest man in the world or anything like that.
Right.
But
But I think it's good to have perspective.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
And I think that's kind of what we're doing as dudes. We were just
Asking questions.
talking it out. And man, I have referenced this several times, so maybe it's a sign. I don't know. But like when we talk to Grant,
Yeah.
okay, and you have a guy who is like bringing it to the table, man. He's got the A game turned on. And even if I don't agree with certain points or topics, man, dude, if they're bringing number one,
Yeah.
energy, the good energy, man, and number two, they're bringing like something to actually discuss.
Yeah.
They have points, and it's like, dude, I was doing this.
We need to get Grant back on.
We need to get him back.
Yeah. I'll make it happen right after this.
And so, I was just thinking about that though, like that is so enjoyable, especially like when they have something to like bring to the table.
So think about this. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So far, we only had 2 guests on.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So anyway, we got more lined up, but the 2 that we've had so far,
yeah,
they've been good vibes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think we'll bring anybody on here that's bad vibes, even if we disagree with them.
Right.
I think you can still come on here and just talk like a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, you can do it with chicks too. If there was some chick that had some really wild idea or something like that, I mean,
yeah,
sit here and talk about it. We might debate about things. I mean, heck, we're about to go watch. I'm about to go watch the debate in a minute. But yeah, you just the whole thing is just you communicate with people, and then I used to hate the word vibes, but it's so true,
dude.
There's people like generally. I read a book recently that was, I know it's crazy. It's about Matthew McConaughey called Green Lights.
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey's whole life, he strived to be one thing, and that was cool.
Yeah.
That's what he literally, he's like, no matter if I suck at this or if I'm good at it, I'm going to play cool.
Yeah.
And it got him a long way.
Yeah.
My goal is to strive my whole life to just be good vibes.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of times where I'll be goofy. Cammy thinks I'm goofy all the time. It doesn't matter even if I'm trying to be cool. But if you're bringing the energy, to just make people have like feel good, and I'm not even over here bragging on me. I'm just bragging on the whole environment as itself.
Right.
A couple of days ago, we were in here, and Miranda and Christina, 2 friends of mine, walked in, and I just turned around and said, I haven't seen Christina in a while. I said hi to Christina, and she was just smiling as big as can be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because of me. It was because of Miranda. It was because of her boyfriend, Jacob Boss. It was because of my wife. Everybody came together, and we just tried to have a good mood. And I literally told her, I said, Christina, it's awesome to see you smile. And I'll say that, and it's not like she doesn't smile a whole bunch.
Right.
But it's just so much different. Like a couple days ago, I heard Cammy, she's watching some show right now. Don't know what it is. It was playing Elden Ring, so I have no idea. That sounds very nerdy, but that's what I was doing. She's watching the show, and she was dying laughing.
Yeah.
Like, beyond, I've never heard her laugh that much in one controlled area.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like, just hearing people be happy.
Yeah.
Hearing people be happy, hearing people, or seeing people smile.
Yeah.
It just does a whole different thing to me.
Yeah.
So, why not strive to just, at the end of the day, like, of course, try to be a good person. But if you had set your whole setting around trying to have a good vibe, it brings other people into the vibe.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can bring a bad vibe to me and it outrun me, really.
Right.
I mean, it's just, because you know what's good about the people that have good vibes? They don't care about people that have bad vibes.
Right.
And you know what the thing about bad vibes are? They care if you have good vibes because they don't want you to have good vibes. So, yeah, that's the coolest thing to me.
It really is. And it's funny. I like to try to put my finger on certain things, and like I used to never say stuff like good vibes and that.
Like I said, I hated that word. I was like, that's a word used by hippies that smoke weed and do meth.
Well, see, that's what's so funny is like I can pinpoint like the time period or the era in which like I started talking more like that, and I've decided to like grow into my own light more, and so like my hair started getting longer and stuff, and everybody was like, "Oh, John's like a hippie," and I'm like, "I'm not. Like, I don't do any drugs or anything like that I would associate with hippies, but I do like. There's no other way to describe it other than good vibes, as well as just a quick, I'll throw it on myself. I've been told sometimes I sound like an old school WWE wrestler.
Racist. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I was just a wrestler. But the way I say stuff like that, like, "Oh, we're gonna have good vibes," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, baby," and just stuff like that. Like it's very much.
Can't see me.
It's very much like
I've never heard that until you say that.
What?
Until you just said that, then you sound like a wrestler. Because you do sometimes.
Dude.
A wrestler mixed with what I used to say, Kid Rock and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Or the white Jamie Foxx.
That's it.
That's him when he really starts getting going. It's hilarious.
But yeah, that's just something that I just noticed. It's like it's probably been about 5 years ago when I started trying to like consciously make the change to always be having the good vibes. And like it's funny because let's say you're in a mood where you're like, and this is something I've thought about many years ago. I was like, I don't feel like smiling just all the time. And I'm a person who smiles a lot. And sometimes like I do it so much my face gets tired. But there's times where I'm like, dude, I just don't feel like smiling. But there's always like just a spark in there waiting to jump out.
Always.
For me to like bust out into a laugh because
a racist joke.
I mean, or even like, if somebody's got a good contagious laugh.
Oh yeah.
My brother
dude.
one.
His brother laughs with his mouth open. It's wild.
I can't help it. Like when that comes out, I'm laughing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And so I'm always on the edge of like taking the vibes from good to great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always right there on the edge.
Yeah. Like Cammy will talk about. Sometimes she views it. She's a very what's the word? Outgoing. In some ways, some may view it as a little aggressive. Is how she does things.
She brings a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. It doesn't matter what it is. And there's been some things to where I can just dial it back.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's kind of getting frustrated with somebody, I'm normally pretty good at kind of dialing them back to where they can come back to normal.
Right.
Well, Cammy sometimes views that as like a pushover.
Oh.
Like somebody saying something about you or this or whatever. And I know when to, like you said, there's things that you stand on and there's things that you're not compromised.
Right.
I know when that is.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times with things, Cammy will think that I'm just being a pushover with it. And I'm like, Cammy, it doesn't matter. What good is it me to try to join the bad vibes if I can somewhat try to make it good? Because not every single conflict is about winning or losing.
Right.
I mean, like the Russian-Ukraine thing right now, the Israel and the Hamas thing right now.
Yeah.
You think somebody's winning that? There's people dying on both sides for reasons that we don't even really know.
Yeah.
So there's no winning.
No.
So in case, let me give you a little word of advice here. If me and you are arguing about something, we come to a close and we don't agree, how about we both don't look at it? I'm not saying that me and you do this, but I'm saying with anybody. And it can be one of your friends. You could be arguing with one of your friends about something.
Yeah.
Or debate. If you don't come to a conclusion, how about you don't look at it like both of us lost, but both of us won?
Right.
We're both fine.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody hate the other person.
Exactly.
So, and I think that is in the inner revolving circle of having good vibes.
Yeah.
Like you don't set out to make enemies, because I assure you, if you believe in something deep and you're never breaking away from it, you will have enemies. And, and it don't mean like people out there hate you.
Right.
But there's going to be people out there that take offense to that you believe in this so much, and they don't. Right. Whether they're jealous of it or they generally think that their thing's better than yours.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you have to try to get involved in the conflict. Like, why don't we look at trying to break down the conflict?
So,
where in the end,
so what do you think about people who find the ability to make, comedy of something, and they do it trying to de-escalate, or like they're not trying to start anything. Maybe they crack a joke and it doesn't come across the way they thought it was going to land, or somebody says something and they fire something off to make to bring the vibe up.
right?
But then that one guy's like, "Hey, bro,
Comedy is definitely not for the lighthearted.
no,
At all.
no."
I mean, if you go on like Kill Tony and you suck, you're getting roasted.
Well, you got to think
the whole time.
So like, both of my brothers are way faster in that essence than I am. Like I may have some good ones every once in a while, and when I got a good one, I'm gonna share it. But these guys are quick, and they got good ones all the time. And like, I can't remember what it was, but it was me and my younger brother Noah, and then your cousin Jake. And I don't remember what Jake said, but my brother thought it was funny. But he thinks a lot of stuff's funny.
Right.
And so, he laughed or whatever. And then Jake was like, "You think that's funny?"
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to warn you right now, to a guy who takes a lot of stuff comically, like my brother, dude, that is just fuel to the fire, man.
Right.
If they're already laughing, you're like, "You think that's funny?"
Yeah.
He's about to die of laughter. But he's not trying to like escalate the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, that's tough, actually. I mean, I've never ran into anything to where somebody's laughing,
right,
and I'm really mad about something, so I don't know, but
I've been really mad before, like with said brother, and he starts laughing, and I'm like, I forgot we were mad about, like, this is hilarious now.
Oh yeah.
Like I've had a lot of moments because, like, the comedy is the route out of whatever the argument was.
Right. Yeah, there's a line that's drawn there somewhere, but I can't tell you where it is. Because I actually do think at some point it is good to put bad people in their place.
Right.
But man, that's hard to make that point. Like if somebody's really going out of their way to really make something like mean,
right,
or something like that.
But I mean, it's like if they're not trying to be mean,
I would say that person probably needs the person that's. No, I'm not saying the person laughing is trying to be mean.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that the other person that is trying to be mean, and you're like, say you were just really, really, really trying to be mean to your brother, and he's just laughing at it.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. Like if you're being mean and he's laughing, he's probably better than you are because he's not calling you anything or
agreed.
Or anything.
So what if?
But it's hard to pick out that moment to. This is not time to fight.
Right, but I guess that's the thing is, when is it personal and it's worth standing up for, versus when is it like, all right, yeah, you got me, that was pretty silly, let's laugh it off.
I think a lot of people take a lot of stuff personal.
Yeah.
When it's really not.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
Like, it's just, it's not that serious. Like, I'm trying to think of an example.
Well, it's just like my brother says all the time. Like he loves to make jokes about anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
Because he's a gym guy, and
they're great.
That's what the gym scene, that's
just kidding.
That's the jokes.
Yeah.
There's other people who don't think that's funny, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, and he's like, "Whoa, bro, it's not that serious."
Whoa, bro, I'm only taking 250 milligrams test.
Yeah. Like the Ronnie Coleman clip. I'm 200 milligrams trend.
Yeah.
200 milligrams D-ball. That's a light day.
Yeah, exactly. And that definitely kind of puts a point on it, though. There is probably a time and a place for that.
Right.
And I'm sure there's people out there that laugh to really get it going.
Right.
But I don't figure they're the people that's probably started it.
Right.
Like they just got caught in the fire.
There's definitely some moments though where like somebody is instigating and they find it funny to instigate.
Oh yes.
So like you do have to be weary of that.
I don't know if that is really a good time to fight though.
No.
Because it's
No, because now you're the bad one.
I
You're
was
starting it.
I was about to say there's a lot of, you know what hurts somebody that tries to instigate things more than a punch is just when you don't care.
Yeah.
It just eats them up.
Don't pay no attention.
So it's just like,
that's a lesson I learned early on from my folks.
Yeah. So just don't pay any attention. Walk past them or anything like that. Now if they start to try to swing on you or something, then yeah, you could try to do something. That
Right.
self-defense, but
right.
Yeah, if they're just sitting there laughing at you, dude. You start just laugh back at them.
Yeah.
Imagine you like getting mad, someone's laughing, and you're like, ah!
Oh man.
Oh shoot, that would be funny.
That would be good. See, I like a good sarcastic laugh. I learned one from a guy I went to school with. You hit him with a yeah.
Well, see, I've in the past,
Yeah.
like something serious will go on,
Yeah.
and then I'll say like a joke that may or may not stick, but it's funny and sometimes it's not funny because sometimes I think people need that.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching a video about a guy coming up to his buddy's house, and his buddy's grandpa passed away, and he was close to his buddy.
Yeah.
Or he's close to his grandpa, and the buddy comes up and knocks on the door, and the one friend was like, "Dude, I don't want to see you right now." He's like, "BS, you want to see me?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm the only guy you want to see right now."
Yeah.
Anyway, they start arguing or something like that, and he had a bottle of whiskey in his hand, and they argue for like 5 minutes, and he finally stops. He goes, "So am I gonna drink this by myself or not?" And the dude goes, "Come in." So I think that there could be a time to put a little comedy in there.
Yeah.
But because I'd much rather like laugh at everything.
Right.
I mean, most of the time, if somebody gets mad at me, like there's not really that many times, but if somebody does, I just laugh. I had a guy one time tell me that he was going to beat me up because he thought I took his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I just laughed. Like,
you ain't gonna flex on all of me and the viewers, you know? Like, jeez, guy.
Oh, it's by no means like, and we didn't even fight each other. But I was like, I'm not fighting you for a girl that you think I'm dating. It was like, I ain't doing that. There's ain't no reason. I just laughed and walked off.
I think a great example of just laughing it off or like working things out. You ever seen the movie Talladega Nights?
Oh, of course. Great movie.
So John C. Reilly steals Will Ferrell's wife.
Oh, I know.
Okay, and he calls him up on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Will Ferrell's sleeping on his mom's couch, and he answers.
Yeah.
He's like, "Dude, what are you doing right now? It's the middle of the night."
Yeah.
He's like, "Man," he's like, "your house is making a lot of weird noises."
Yeah.
He's like, "And how do I listen to the stereo and the TV at the same time?" He's like, "Man, what the hell's wrong with you?" He's like, "We're not friends." He's like, "You took my wife." And he was like, "Look, man, I just like to party." He's like, "How do I do this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, man, I hope you're doing all right, though, for real."
Like, yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. And it's just like,
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
like that's worst case scenario. He got your wife in your house. You're back on your mom's couch, and you're just like, "Dude, why am I even talking to you?" No, for serious though, Let's
hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Later, dude.
Bye.
Yeah. So yeah, there's moments definitely where the comedy really plays a good key in it. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to pick them out, and it obviously matters what the group is.
Of course.
Like I love that Shane Gillis is bringing the whole circle around
yes.
of people that have disabilities are not just like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not just like so helpless.
Right.
Like he's making the joke about dodging the Down syndrome or whatever it is or something like that. And you know what? He's dadgum right. Any kid I've ever seen that's had Down syndrome, they're living it up.
Yeah, man.
You want to hear something right now? Down syndrome people, they got good vibes.
They do have good vibes.
All the time.
They do.
So I love that that's finally coming around to where, because I actually think that makes society better.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I personally have never met one. I hope you've never met one. I've never met anybody that bullies kids like that.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. Maybe that's where we're from.
I hope.
Why do we have to try to treat them like they're hopeless? Because all they want is just to be like us.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times, they are.
That's what I was about to say. When it gets down to it, for the most part, they are like us.
Yeah, for sure.
All they want It's the same things we want.
That's it. Good vibes.
That's it. They want good vibes. They want to live their life. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want to have a good time, and I want to live my life my way.
Dude, shout out to Miranda.
Yeah.
This girl's like 21, and she's got every problem known to man. But you want to talk about somebody that is cool as crap, loving to every person she's ever met in her entire life, and is always looking for a good time, it's that girl.
Yeah.
So we ought to be taking a little bit of inspiration from those people and try to go out and make other people's lives happy or fun.
I brag on something she did just the other day. Every time I see her, she's always happy to see me.
Every time.
And like the other day when I walked up and I seen her, she gave me a hug. And this is something I've talked about before. I don't know if I've talked about it here, but just with people. Like, I can tell if you're being genuine. I know. It's a gut feeling. It's like she gave me a hug, and I could feel she genuinely was glad to see me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's nice.
I took inspiration from that.
Yeah.
Anytime I have a party or something like that, and it's one of our close friends, like, obviously me and Boss have known each other since college, so we got handshakes and all that other junk. But his girlfriend, Christina, I hug her every time I see her now.
Yeah.
And she may think it's weird. I don't think she thinks it's weird anymore. But at first she was probably like, who's this weirdo? But I'm generally happy to see her.
Yeah.
And I think she's happy to see all of us.
Yeah.
So why not try to make them feel more welcome?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to go hug everybody.
Right.
But part of having good vibes is letting other people know that you care about them.
Yeah.
In some kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So if there is people out there that you care about, show them that you care about them.
Yeah.
Show them that if you're a guy, you will do everything that you can to protect these people. And I care about these people.
Yeah.
So, just do that. That's the coolest thing that you could do.
Yeah.
I remember we'll probably end up wrapping it up with this, but I saw a video about a guy. Yeah. And he is, all he's doing, he lives in New York City. All he's doing is walking down the street saying compliments to people.
Oh, I think I've seen
That's all he does. He walks around. He's like, "Ma'am, I love the color of your nails. Dude, you got some awesome shoes. Man, I love that jacket."
Yeah.
And all this other stuff. Have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good day. And everybody smiles.
Yeah.
At that. Every single person. And you know what? I would remember it. Like, I'll never forget this. Coolest thing ever. One of the coolest things ever in my life. I bought some brand new shoes one time. Can't tell you what kind of shoes they were. But I thought they were cool. I was walking down Cersei one time, walking to Sonic, and a black dude walked up to me. He said, "Dude, I love those shoes." And I thought, I'm the coolest guy on the block.
Yeah.
And I remember that to this day.
Yeah.
And there might be something about black guys telling you that you got cool shoes, because they always normally got cool shoes. So, but just little things like that show that little bit that you care.
Yeah.
About whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not even that guy coming up to me and saying, "Me and you are best friends at this point." He was just like, "That's cool. That guy's got it going on. I'm going to acknowledge it."
Here's just a quick one, because I'm a storyteller, but I've got to. That reminds me of, like, there was a lady who worked the security guard shack at a vendor of ours. And I remember her name. Her name was Rebecca, because we became friends, pretty much. And I remember talking to you about it, because I was like, is it weird to, like, compliment, like, a lady on this or that? And you were like, no, like, it's a compliment. And I'm like, okay. So when I started viewing things like that, man, it's such a better outlook. And so I rolled up one day and I was like, you know what? I was like, I just happened to notice you look really pretty. I was like, and your lipstick is a great color. I mean, and maybe you think I'm hitting on you, maybe you don't. I was just purely being like, you look good, cool story, and I could tell that genuinely made her day so much better. And she was always glad to see me when I was coming to make a delivery, and I would just go in, get my stuff done, and leave. There was never anything to it. You see what I'm saying? But being able to make their day like that, like, hey, and then after we became friends or whatever, it was like, hey, how's it going? And
right. You remember, I'll never forget this, and I'm glad I remembered it, because we got to keep it in this podcast.
Yeah.
We can always come back and look at it again.
Yeah.
one of me and your best friends that we'll ever have in our entire life, love the dude forever, will be Larry P.
Oh, Larry P.
Coolest dude ever. I can't even explain the impact he's had on our lives.
It's insane.
But I remember that time that I went to the movies and I came back and I said, guys, I'm not even flirting with this chick, but this chick had the prettiest eyes I've ever seen. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I was so conflicted with like, should I say that to somebody when I have a girlfriend?
Right.
And like I said, I'm not even hitting on him. The girl just had beautiful eyes.
Right.
And I asked Larry P about it.
Yeah.
I said, what?
Shit's a stud.
He's a stud, I know. Dude's like 60-something, and he's like the heart of an 18-year-old dude.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the coolest thing ever.
100%.
So I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, I would tell her. And he said he had a story one time that him and his wife were out at a restaurant one time.
Yeah.
And the girl came up to him, and she was just nice as could be. And he said he told her right in front of his wife, he said, ma'am, I just let you know you have the prettiest smile I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And his wife knows that he loves her.
Oh, yeah.
My wife knows that I love her.
Oh, yeah.
But he said that one little comment might have, and he got deep with it. He said that one little comment might have saved that woman's life because you have no idea what she's going through.
Yeah.
And dude, that just hit me deep. And I've never seen that girl again. But if I do see her, I will tell her that.
Yeah.
But dude, Larry, shout out to Larry P, dude.
Oh,
we love you, brother, more than any. I don't know if you'll ever see this in your entire life, but we love you more than anything, brother. But we'll wrap it up here. Is there anything else you want to say to the homeboys and the homegirls out there?
Keep it positive. That's it. That's the takeaway. Keep it positive. And we're glad you're watching. Hit us up in the comments. I think that's all I've got.
Yeah. I'm about to go in here and watch this debate. No matter who wins, no matter if Trump or Kamala gets elected, if you want to see a change anywhere, it starts with one person, and it starts with the positive attitude of that one person can change the world. Because all you have to do is start finding other people that's like you. You build your own little team, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I encourage anybody that has the power and the money, that is a good person, that always has positive vibes, go out and do something that's a little bit bigger than you. Right now, me and him might not be able to because we're not beyond rich, and we don't have all these assets and everything like that. But something I was telling you real quick, and then I am cutting it off right here. Remember Cletus McFarland? I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. We used to watch him all the time on YouTube with cars. He has the money, he has the assets, and he went over to North Carolina and rescued people that was in the water. This is a time to where we require people to step it up. And I've told him multiple times, if I ever get the power, the money, anything, to really try to take a big step, and whatever that is, to try to make a difference in the people around you, in the community, in the state, in the country, wherever. This is the time we need people to do it. And we need this from now on, because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. It might all come to the end tomorrow. Figure out who Jesus Christ is if you don't know who he is. But other than that, you good to go?
Good to go.
All right. Guys, this was episode number 13 of the Skeptics Podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.